list is headed for the great outdoors. From your own backyard,
we're going to go camping!
Yay!
To the open road.
Renting vans has become something that's really popular.
And everywhere in between.
I have some great ideas of some destinations that probably aren't on your travel radar.
So get ready.
You can just get there and then enjoy the great outdoors.
Starting now.
Hey everyone, I'm Christina Guerrero.
And I'm Jimmy Rhodes, and you heard it here first. July 4th weekend has arrived.
That's right, so we are kicking things off with a special show called The Great Outdoors, about all the ways we can maximize our enjoyment of the one and only Mother Nature.
One way, of course, is with a vacation, and with money tight all over, a lot of folks are thinking a road trip is the way to go for their summer getaway.
Yeah, but beware, the cost of hitting the highway can sneak up on you if you don't plan ahead.
How to make sure your road trip doesn't take you for a ride is our featured story at the top of the list.
A summer road trip can save you from sky-high airfares, but those savings won't come without strategy.
I think a lot of times people think that road trips are going to be more affordable than hopping on a plane, and that can be true. However, if you don't plan properly, road trips can actually be really expensive.
Mamie Wheaton, certified financial planner for LearnLux Financial Wellbeing, is getting us revved up for summer road trips
You can barely get your snacks in there.
with tips on how to prep and save. For starters, prep your car.
So I think that this is something that people a lot of times overlook. They pack their car and they go. So get that oil change, check your air filters, check your tire pressure. I think that's a huge one.
And this is preventive, right? So that you don't wind up paying a lot more if you get a breakdown on the road.
Yeah, exactly. You want to take those steps to prevent hopefully having your car overheat or blowing out a tire on the side of the freeway.
Since we're talking about preventive planning, what else should we do?
So one of the things you want to do is check your insurance policy to see if you have roadside assistance.
But check the fine print.
Sometimes check your policy to see how far they'll tow you. Sometimes they'll only tow you to the nearest town, which may be in the opposite direction of your destination, or maybe they won't cover a rental car.
Next, fill up early or get cleaned out later. Avoid gas traps.
So those small towns, especially if there aren't any other services around, they are going to charge exponentially for gas.
Because they know they're the only game in town.
And they know people are going to stop and they know people are going to pay for it.
But if you plan your stops, you can avoid those traps.
Exactly. There's so many apps out there now. I like Gas Buddy, but there's tons of other apps where you can actually find the closest gas station to you and you can see all of their prices for premium, for diesel, and for regular.
At number 3, national parks.
This is the season when everybody plans their national park trip. What should we be planning around those?
Well, when you go to a national park, you can buy a pass for that national park. Or you can actually just buy a national parks pass that gets you into all of the national parks.
The average cost per vehicle at most national parks is $30. An annual pass is $80.
It's more budget friendly to buy the national parks pass.
Finally, rent outdoor gear and RVs.
Camping can be expensive. There's a lot of gear out there. There's a lot of really fun gear out there. But if you're just getting into it and you don't know exactly what to buy, it can be really intimidating. You can even rent sleeping bags.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how are they getting cleaned?
You can wash them yourself or they're gonna come washed.
So try before you buy at places like REI, OutdoorsGeek.com, and more. And if you'd prefer to hit the open road in an RV,
You can do something like RV share. Renting vans has become something that's really popular. You can literally rent out a van for a week.
you can find RVs of all sizes and travel trailers for rent at sites like RVshare.com, Outdoorsy, and Cruise America.
You can just get there and then enjoy the great outdoors.
How to hit the road without getting taken for a ride is at the top of the list.
Well, if you like the idea of enjoying the great outdoors, but you're not quite ready for the wilderness, well then here's a camping with training wheels approach to it that can be just as much fun. We are throwing up our tent and enjoying an outdoor adventure with backyard camping.
Packing up the car and taking your family out into the wilderness is a great way to reconnect, but finding the time can be challenging.
Whether it's inside or outside, take that evening and set it apart and say, we're going to connect as a family in a different way.
Mark Hancock, CEO of Trail Life USA, has some tips on how to get your family outside without even leaving the house.
Mateo, I have great news. We're going to go camping!
Yay!
In our backyard.
For starters, make a plan.
I think it's a great time to call a family meeting and say, hey, how do you want to do this? We talk about the expectations. What is this going to be like?
Brainstorming helps narrow down all the possibilities and gets everyone involved.
The idea is that you're creating something different that you're doing with your family during this time to kind of distract us from our devices and 24/7 news and updates.
Whether it's an overnight campout with all the gear or just an evening of snacks and stargazing, it's up to you.
The only rule is have fun.
Next, the menu.
If you've gone the cast iron route and you've got a Dutch oven or something like that, you can look at complete meals that you can cook in one Dutch oven over open flame.
But we're just gonna keep things simple with our backyard barbecuer and throw some burgers on the grill.
Of course, you can't forget the s'mores.
We're just encouraging people to create something new and have a good time.
Finally, the entertainment.
Get out some of those backyard games that you've got in a closet somewhere that you promised you would play sometime.
I got a twofer!
Or try doing something inside the box.
Square off an area of the yard, maybe 3 feet by 3 feet, and see what kind of bugs you can find, what kind of rocks you can find in that 3-foot area.
Of course, nothing says camping more than sitting around a fire telling scary stories or singing campfire songs.
And I think that that's going to create new ways for families to kind of gather and enjoy time with each other.
Take in the great outdoors with a backyard campout.
Another great thing about the outdoors, it's the world's most beautiful dining room. If you've got a cookout on your calendar, Teresa Strasser has 3 bombshell side dishes that'll get you invited back again and again.
Summer means barbecue season is here. We spoke with chef and author of the low-carb Mediterranean cookbook, Michelle Dudash, to learn 3 easy sides to bring to your next cookout. First up, a burrata cheese platter.
Burrata cheese is basically a ball of mozzarella with a creamy, oozy center. So when you cut it open, it's this total showstopper.
In addition to burrata, for this simple platter, you'll need balsamic vinegar, honey,
Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and fresh basil. Sprinkle it with some almonds.
but first, prep your burrata.
This burrata cheese has liquid in the container, so you need to drain that off. Otherwise, you're gonna have a big mess.
Toss your strawberries with balsamic vinegar and honey,
They're all saucy and juicy.
and add everything to the platter.
And now for the finale. We cut into the burrata. We have this oozy center.
Next, Michelle's Greek 7-layer hummus dip.
It's light, it's refreshing, and we're getting protein and vegetables.
Pick your favorite hummus, spread it on a platter, and layer it with
Feta cheese, get the crumbled by sliced Kalamata olives. We have oregano, diced cucumber, cherry tomatoes that are quartered.
slice some scallions, and sprinkle them on top. This colorful recipe looked so good. Finally, fresh watermelon salsa.
The salsa is so refreshing and hydrating. It's great for a poolside snack.
To whip this up, grab
Red onion, chili powder, lime juice, jalapeno, watermelon, cilantro, or you can use parsley.
Before combining, sprinkle your watermelon with salt.
Now what the salt will do is draw the juices out of the watermelon. So we'll let this sit for 20 minutes.
Add the remaining ingredients and enjoy.
There's like this pop of juiciness, sweet from the watermelon, spicy jalapenos. The lime juice gives it a nice pop.
We're keeping cooking to a minimum with easy barbecue sides.
As the list goes further into the great outdoors, put the smack on mosquito bites with these handy gadgets.
It surrounds you with a zone of mosquito protection.
And we head across America in search of unique outdoor destinations.
We'll call it a lively ghost town.
Plus, our favorite outdoor movies to enjoy at home.
In Montana, there are 3 things we're never late for: church, work, and fishing.
Next on the list.
Hey YouTube, okay, I know you're right in the middle of watching, but just wanted to remind you to hit subscribe. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss 1 minute of the list. Okay, now back to the show.
We're back. With the warmer weather here and people spending more time in the great outdoors, no one is more thrilled than Mosquitoes. Those pesky bloodsuckers are just itching to bite you, so we're sending in the SWAT team for Mosquito 911.
Every summer, disease-carrying mosquitoes create quite the buzz. But here's a new twist. According to vector control expert John Townsend, when you're bitten matters.
Most of the mosquitoes that we deal with that cause disease, at least in the United States, are nighttime biters.
Daytime mosquitoes aren't as likely to carry West Nile or other serious diseases.
For the most part, those daytime biting mosquitoes are just a nuisance.
Nuisance or not, we don't want to get bit, so we've rounded up 3 highly reviewed mosquito-killing products, starting with the Thermacell Radius.
It surrounds you with a zone of mosquito protection.
This portable, pest-repelling device was the New York Times top choice in outdoor anti-mosquito gadgetry.
The lithium-ion battery powers an internal heater, which activates the repellent. After just a few minutes, the heat consistently releases fresh repellent, creating a zone of mosquito protection.
While it lasts for up to 6 hours per charge and is effective, the caveat is that you do have to purchase the repellent refills.
Repellent cartridges come in 12-hour and 40-hour refills.
Find it online for about $40 with refills costing about $12 to $18. A newer kind of mosquito repellent snags our second spot. Ranger Ready DEET-free skin sprays that feature picaridin, which is safe for humans.
Picaridin mimics the pepper plant. It just makes them bounce off and they pull away. It doesn't kill them.
Ranger Ready also has a spray for your clothing, shoes, and camping gear.
Our clothing-worn repellent with permethrin 0.5% should be applied directly to your clothing. Will repel and kill ticks and mosquitoes for up to 40 days and 5 washes.
The aerosol DEET-free sprays can be found online and in stores starting at about $10 a bottle. Lighting up our last spot is the Flowtron electronic insect killer. While it's effective, has great reviews, and covers half a mile, many people make the mistake of placing it too close to home.
They attract mosquitoes, so don't put them like on your back porch. Put them, as far away as you can.
It's available online for about $45. And no matter which gadget you use to fend off the flying menace, Chris reminds us all to be vigilant this season.
Mosquitoes are the deadliest animal on Earth. They kill more people every year than any other vector.
Gearing up for a bite-free summer with mosquito-killing gadgets.
Produce prices are sky high, but there's a fun and natural way to fight back. Grow your own. Teresa Strasser has 3 YouTube channels offering tips and tricks to up your gardening game. Teresa.
Thank you. With over 1.4 million subscribers combined, these gardening YouTube channels will make you a mean green gardening machine. Coming in at number 1, Hugh Richards.
From sowing to harvesting, I share with you the steps to success to get the most from your garden without spending an arm and a leg.
He teaches organic permaculture gardening. This is a method that preserves and revitalizes soil.
What you have to understand as a new gardener is that the health of your soil is a key thing you need to focus on.
He has a $25 book called The Vegetable Grower's Handbook.
It's a handbook. It's something to help you define and hone in on your own growing styles and also to try and maximize your growing space.
At number 2, Plant Abundance.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back. We've got another fantastic day of gardening ahead of us.
Dan and Alice teach folks gardening tricks like making a DIY raised bed.
So what do you get when you wrap a cardboard box with chicken wire? You get a raised bed garden for pennies on the dollar.
They also show off tools used by gardening masters from around the world, like a Japanese weeding sickle.
So this blade is made out of high carbon steel. It's very tough, and it's wonderful for weeding and cultivating a garden.
Dan even explains how gardening isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle.
Getting outside, getting out in nature, putting these seeds in the ground, watching them grow, harvesting.
And third on our YouTube gardening channel list, Callie Kim.
I'm Callie Kim, and my passion is growing organic vegetables right in my own backyard. And I teach people from all over the world how to do the same and be healthier as a result.
She has tips for growing sweet fruits like strawberries.
Well, strawberries grow very well in containers. I love to grow them in strawberry crate towers.
She also helps folks garden indoors.
And it's just not enough light by this window, even if you have a south-facing window. Seedlings need intense direct overhead light.
And she also released a $24 book that's all about raised bed gardening.
Planting and growing in your raised beds so you know exactly how to maintain them and nurture them and tend to them.
And that is for sale on Amazon.com. And those were a few YouTube gardeners helping people with their green thumb. Lots more to come on the list. Stay with us.
We're back, and guys, it is time to get outside and enjoy nature. But if your al fresco skills are a little rusty, we found some films that'll be a breath of fresh air. We are looking at movies that celebrate the great outdoors on the hot list.
If you missed out on outdoor adventures the past couple years, look no further than the movies. We rounded up 4 that showcase our beautiful world in all of its wonder. Starting with 2014's Wild.
I'm sorry you have to walk 1,000 miles just to...
Finish that sentence. Why do I have to walk 1,000 miles?
Happy trails, Cheryl.
Reese Witherspoon stars in this critically acclaimed film based on the true story of a woman who hiked 1,100 miles along the Pacific Crest Trail on a journey of self-discovery.
We want to capture every element of her journey, how difficult it was, how inspiring it was, how beautiful it was, whether they be sort of these majestic redwoods or wide open fields of snow.
Both Reese and Laura Dern, who played her mother, were Oscar nominated for their roles.
If I could go back in time, I wouldn't do a single thing differently.
Now from hiking to writing with 2004's The Motorcycle Diaries.
Bendito sea su viaje.
Don't let the subtitles scare you away. This award-winning foreign film is based on the memoir of revolutionary leader Che Guevara and recounts a transformative trip he took through South America when he was in his 20s.
Gracias por los pasajes, gracias por la ropa, muchas gracias por...
Next up, 1992's A River Runs Through It.
Eventually, all things merge into one, and a river runs through it.
Brad Pitt stars in this movie directed by Robert Redford about 2 sons growing up in Missoula, Montana.
In Montana, there are 3 things we're never late for: church, work, and fishing.
And if seeing a young Brad isn't enough of a reason to watch, well, just look at the scenery, which helped the movie win the Oscar for Best Cinematography.
I'll come and get it.
And the final movie on our list is 50 years old, Jeremiah Johnson.
His name was Jeremiah Johnson. They say he wanted to be a mountain man. Here's his story.
A young Robert Redford stars in this 1972 adventure film, which was the first Western to ever be screened at the Cannes Film Festival. All of these movies are available to rent online now, so what are you waiting for?
This would be a good place to live.
Exploring the outdoors without ever going outdoors on the hot list. We'll be right back.
We're back. There's no better time than the 4th of July weekend, or any time in the next few months for that matter, to hit the road and soak up the great outdoors. Eddie DeJamal has gathered some getaways to unforgettable destinations across America.
Your summer travel plans are about to get a lot more exciting.
Let's do this! I have some great ideas of some destinations that probably aren't on your travel radar.
Freelance travel journalist Jennifer Broom takes us across America to some unique spots where there's plenty to do.
And when it's time to leave, you're going to wish you had more time to enjoy the people and enjoy the outdoor adventures.
Our journey begins in Fairbanks, Alaska.
The best place in the U.S. to see the Aurora Borealis, or more commonly known as the Northern Lights.
Prime time to enjoy this celestial spectacle is between August and April.
That's the time when you have some dark skies.
And if you're in the mood to relax, unwind at Chena Hot Springs Resort.
Check out Chena Hot Springs Ice Museum and get that apple martini or apple teeny in an ice-cut glass. It's phenomenal.
We're moving on to Cortez, Colorado.
It is what I would call a mecca for mountain bikers and for archaeological ruin seekers.
New and experienced mountain bikers can enjoy a ride at Phil's World Trail.
Woohoo!
From there, take a drive to McElmo Canyon and hike the Sand Canyon Trail.
That is part of Canyons of the Ancients National Monument, which has the highest density of archaeological sites in the U.S. I will tell you, it is huge.
And while you're there,
go have a glass of wine. Sutcliffe Vineyards is one of my favorite wineries in Colorado, and it is in McElmo Canyon.
Our next stop takes us to Terlingua, Texas.
It's a town that's kind of been built up around ruins.
It's also your gateway to Big Bend National Park, the only one with a fully contained mountain range. And it also features some of the darkest skies in the U.S.
It's magical, it's mystical, it's gonna draw you in as it draws me back time and time again.
Let's wrap it up with Central Nebraska.
You likely don't think of Nebraska as an outdoor destination, but I'll tell you, you should.
It is the spot to catch the spring migration of the sandhill cranes,
one of the last great animal migrations on the planet.
For your best viewing experience, stop by Crane Trust near Grand Island or Rose Sanctuary near Kearney, Nebraska.
Both of those places offer tours. It is something that is extra special.
Checking out some one-of-a-kind outdoor destinations across America.
Great suggestions, all places I have yet to visit, so putting them on my travel list.
See, your bucket list just gets bigger and bigger.
And bigger.
YouTube, you look fabulous. Have you been working out? Hey, don't forget to like this video, leave us a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button, and you'll never miss the list. Here's some other episodes. Watch those and keep the party rolling.